Hello, hello. All right, here we are, guys. Today's episode is gonna be a little bit different. I am not tackling Music Monday today, or for this week, I should say. Um, I figured that I would just get real and honest with you guys on this video slash podcast. The reason I'm not doing a Music Monday this week is because I feel like absolute shit is not the right word. I'm feeling very, very, very defeated, and I apologize. I'm probably going to cry a few times on this video and podcast. I've been struggling a lot here recently with some reoccurring themes of anxiety in my life and OCD, and those two kind of play off of each other, and then perfectionism, um, and a little bit of ADHD. And I don't mean to say all these things to play like the victim mentality, the victim mindset, and oh, look at all this shit that happens to me. I'm not doing that. I'm just admitting what my problems are, the things that I've dealt with for a long time and continue to deal with. And it's I don't know. I'm in a really rough spot, and so I figured I'd be honest and talk about these things with you guys. I've made a few videos about my anxiety in my OCD and perfectionism and all that. I've made videos, I've made content on it, so some of you may have seen that and kind of have a clearer picture of what I go through, to kind of catch you guys up to speed. So I got into a relationship back on February 10th and still in the relationship. I think it's going fairly well, but for me as a person, growing up, anytime that there was a significant change in my life, whether it was good or bad, my brain had kind of concocted itself to have a hard time adjusting to those changes. So I think that threw me for a loop. Although it's a good thing, it's good to be in a relationship with somebody that you like and you care about and you have feelings for. I get way too far into my head. I look way too far in advance in thinking like, oh, where is this gonna go? What's gonna happen between us? And it's just really robbed me of the present moment. And it's really impacted, just how I function at my job in conversations with other people, because I get obsessed with these things. I get obsessed with these ideas, obsessed with these things that are going on in my head about a given situation. And then on top of that, I have been thinking about leaving my job right now. I currently work at COC here in Indianola, helping people supported that have intellectual disabilities, that can't really, not all of them can fend for themselves as much as they would like to. And I've been there for 2 years, a little over 2 years, and the job has always kind of been up and down. There's been, I don't even know how I would describe it. There's been toxic workers, there's been toxic situations, there's been emotional frustration, dealing with people supported. They have the minds of kids, so a lot of times they're highly emotional and completely irrational. And so over the years, I've had to deal with a lot working there, and I don't want to put all the negatives out there and cast it out to be this terrible place to work at. It's not. There's a lot of great aspects about working there. Honestly, the thing that's kept me going for the last 2 years is my people supported, because I love them and I've built such a deep relationship with them, and that's the thing that like I don't want to leave. But yeah, I feel like I've hit a breaking point there, and I knew it was never going to be a career job. It was a job that was supposed to get me through my last year of college, and it did that, and it helped me pay for my bills and get my own place, get out of my parents' house. But I don't know, I'm frustrated there. So then I've been looking into this new job that I'm hopefully going to get up in Norwalk, and I don't want to say too much about it because I don't want to jinx myself, but So that's exciting, but that also leaves up this area of interpretation in the unknown, of not knowing what's going to happen next with all these things. So again, for like a person that, you know, like gets obsessed about that shit, when changes go on in my life, when there's an unknown, when I don't know what's going to happen, when my routine shifts, all that stuff, my brain just has a hard time coping with it, and it's just been beating me recently. And again, like, I don't want to come on to this video and like complain about my circumstances, because I know that there are people out there that have much worse circumstances that they have to go through than I do. But this is my struggle. This is literally some of the biggest issues that I've had to face in my entire life, and over the last few years of my life. You know, when I got in therapy, I've kind of, you know, with mental health, you kind of get yourself to a place of security, and then you hit a trigger or you go through a situation that kind of sends you back, sends you reeling. But for the most part, like, I've been able to function pretty well for the last 2.5 years. But for some reason, yeah, getting in the relationship, having these unknowns surface about what's going to happen with the job, if I'm going to get this new job, and if it doesn't work out, then I have to probably look for another job, because at this point I'm kind of done and tired of working at COC. I just feel like I've capped out on my growth there. And you know, and then on top of that, like, today is finally like the best weathered day that we've had in a while here in Iowa, Indianola to be specific. But we've still been kind of fighting our way out of winter, and I always struggle more in the winter. There's always more issues in the winter. And so then on top of that, you know, you're not getting that vitamin D, you're not getting out. Like, I walk every single day, but I'm telling you, the vitamin D doesn't feel the same as it would in the summer, or like when the warm weather is consistent. Like, it just fucking raises your mood and your attitude towards things. And so, like, throughout the winter, you know, you're stuck inside more, you're checking screens more. I'm just more distracted, and like, it just totally fucks up my brain space. I don't know if any of you guys can relate, but these phones and these screens, these things that we've become accustomed to living on for a long time now, they're just so bad for our brains. Like, I believe that's a huge part of it, because like, I can trace back this pattern, and I can look back to last year around this time, like early March. I was I was having the same issues, and it's weird because I was honestly going through arguably the same situation. I had just gotten myself into a relationship last year around this point, and I remember just freaking out, you know. And in March, I was still going to Simpson College, and we weren't done with classes until April. So like, again, there was another element of the unknown coming up in the future, and like, my brain was kind of like trying to prep itself for what was going to happen. And so it's weird how similar I felt last year around this point, and I feel like I'm kind of going through the same thing now. And maybe it's just a cyclical thing. Like, maybe because we have different seasons, we have 12 months throughout the year, there are just these natural phases that we all go through. And at certain times of the year, we feel more emotional when the seasons are shifting. And like, I don't know, I can't really pinpoint 100% what it is, because I think it's many different factors. I think it's definitely me just overthinking things, but I think it also comes from just not having the proper nutrients of like getting outside and having enough distance from my phone. And I don't know, because I have a very good relationship with my phone. I'm not on my phone that often. I make myself wait until noon before I check any social media. I only have one social media platform, Instagram. That's the only one I have. You know, I don't text very often. I'm not very present on it, but I don't know. I certainly think it doesn't help, man. It doesn't help my mind space, and I don't know. I just figured I had to get a lot of this shit off my chest, and hopefully, you know, for what I'm struggling with right now, I hope that can help some other person. Because if I'm being honest, like I said, this is the worst it's been in a long time, and my anxiety has ramped up a lot, and there's been a lot of panic, and there's been a lot of fear and a lot of worry. And like, once your brain kind of sinks its teeth into those ideas that are popping up in your head. They become more persistent. They keep haunting you. And like, you just can't even see, I don't want to say the light of day because that makes it sound very depressive. Like, I don't even know if I could categorize myself as depressed. I haven't struggled with depression in a while. Honestly, it's mainly I've always kind of struggled with the anxiety and the OCD and the inattentiveness of ADHD and being a perfectionist. Those are some of my main issues. Um, but yeah, when your mind cinches its teeth on a certain subject, on certain ideas, persistent thoughts that keep popping up, like it's just so hard to shake yourself from it. And when that panic and that fear arises, I don't know, just lately I haven't been able to distance myself from it, and it's really had a large impact on me, man. That's why I said I was probably going to cry, and honestly, I'm proud of myself. I haven't really done it yet, which is totally okay if I did. Um, I don't know. Just right now, I'm feeling upset and frustrated, and I just keep praying to God that it's a phase and that it's temporary, and it's always been that way. It's always been that way. For any moment that I've been struggling, sometimes it's worse than others, but it's always temporary, and I always get through it. But it's like, fuck, man, every time you're in it, like, you can't you can't envision a way out, or how it's going to look different in the future. And like, I don't know, as far as I've come with my mental health journey, man, like, just these moments and these setbacks are so fucking discouraging, especially like when it comes to the relationship, because my girlfriend, she hasn't done anything wrong. She hasn't done anything to make me feel out of place. I mean, I think it's just that self-sabotaging and all that chatter going on in my mind. And it's like, dude, like, I get frustrated because I feel like I can't enjoy what's right in front of me. Like, my brain automatically sends up these warning signals when I'm in a healthy relationship, and it's because of my past. It's because of things that I went through as a child. Like, and we all have that, right? Like, again, not victim mentality here. I'm opposed to victim mentality 100%, but like, we all have certain traumas, we all have certain triggers, we all have certain things that we struggle with, and this just happens to be mine. And I don't know, it's just really frustrating because like last year after the breakup that I went through in May, I kind of had a resurgence, and a lot of things turned around for me. And honestly, last year was probably the most stable I've been mental health wise, uh, in a long time. And and I'm proud of that because I put in all that work to get to where I'm at. So I shouldn't get so discouraged when these things happen, but fuck, I don't know. It's almost impossible and hard not to. Um, I don't know. I don't know. I just had to come on here and I had to get that off of my chest, because I try and stick to this schedule of putting out one video a week. And for a while now, it's been Music Monday. Like, I haven't missed a beat since like early January. And again, I'm really proud of that. I'm building up a lot of consistency on this channel. But if you followed me over the years, I do a lot of different things. I do a lot of different content. So it's not always going to be Music Monday. Sometimes it's going to switch up and I'm going to do something else. And I'm not putting this video out there to gain any sympathy or for like people to feel bad for me. Again, I think victim mentality doesn't have any room in our culture, in our society, because it makes people fucking weak and they don't actually address the problems. Like, I'm willing to address the problems. I'm willing to say that, yeah, dude, like, I struggle and it's fucking tough sometimes, and this is the worst it's been in a while. And so yeah, naturally I'm gonna feel very emotional and very upset because I just it's not that I'm trying to avoid it and like not let myself feel these things. It's just like, dude, like, what can I do differently to prevent this in the future, in terms of just getting older and more wise and more accepting of my emotions, and like the sway of when things change, because life is very much an ebb and flow process. And I do think a lot of it has to do with the seasonal changes. I think we all kind of go through these cyclical cycles and we don't realize like how much changes of the weather and things like that impact us. And if you've kind of been dormant for the last 3 months, like what is that doing to you? Like, when you're checking your phone more, when you're not getting outside, when you're a little bit more lazy, you don't have as much energy. And again, I do everything that I can to avoid all of that. I mean, I did 75 hard, started November 1st, got done January 14th, and then I took not very long off. I think I took like 6 days off, and then I went into phase 1 of the Live Hard program. Did that for 18 days, failed the first time, took 2 days off, got back on it, and now I'm on day 29. So tomorrow, after I get through it, I'll be done. So yeah, man, I mean, I have really good habits. I take care of myself mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically as best as I possibly can, but I'm human and I'm imperfect and I make mistakes and I struggle and I face adversity just like everybody else does. I just hope by me putting this out there, it could be like a release for me to kind of get these things off of my chest. But if there's somebody else out there that's dealing with some sort of struggle, I just want you to know, man, that we all go through this. We're all in it together. And, I want to help people because I know how bad it's been for me. And, I think it's important, especially as men, not that we should always make these types of videos, but I think it's good to kind of show a vulnerable, courageous side. Like, get yourself on camera and talk about things that are bothering you and let yourself cry and let yourself get a little bit emotional. So in any sense, guys, I don't really know where else to go with this video. Like I said, I just needed to get some things off of my chest. I couldn't really bullshit you guys and hop on here and do a Music Monday when I wasn't really feeling it. I mean, I guess I probably could have and pushed through it, but I guess this week just called for something different, and that's okay. Like I said, I put out all different types of content, and I think although I like doing the Music Mondays, this is real, this is honest, this is me. You may think every time you see me behind the camera that like I'm confident and I got my shit together and there's no flaws inside of me, and it's not the truth. And I don't try and project myself that way. I'm just saying, if anybody thinks that, it's like, no, man. And I would tell you, most of the time when I record a video, I'm anxious, or I just started to get you get more and more comfortable that you do it. But like, I've always kind of had issues with that stuff. So again, I'm just putting this out there to hopefully help some people, enlighten some people, and just be true to myself and say, hey, I've been struggling and it sucks. But if you're struggling, I'm right there with you, man. And I'd be willing to have a conversation if you guys need to talk about things. But anyways, guys, I'm going to cut the video off. I don't think there's anything else that I really have to say. I appreciate all the support. This video will be the 99th video. So next week on March 21st, my birthday, assuming, nothing catastrophic happens between now and then, I will put out my 100th video on my birthday, on my 25th birthday. So that would be pretty cool. And I don't know what the format will be for next week. I don't know what video I'll create, but yeah, guys, I love you so much. Thank you for the support. If you're new to the channel, it's the same thing as always. Like the video, share the video if you gain something from it. Tell your friends and any interactions that you have in person about my channel. If you get something of value from it. It helps the YouTube algorithm in getting my videos out there to more people, because I've really just done it from an organic format. I post one video a week and I've only advertised or promoted it on my social media. So I'm sure there are things that I could be better at advertising and marketing this stuff, but I think I'm still kind of trying to find that audience. But either way, whatever views I do get on these videos and people that click on my podcast, I do appreciate it, and it means a lot. So thank you, guys. I'll see you on the next video. Bye-bye.